Alright, moving on to the next topic. I will be discussing with the NFL offseason officially finished and we're now into the midst of training camp. I'll be talking about which NFL team I believe has improved the most this NFL offseason. So there's a lot of teams that you can have in this conversation. A lot of teams made a lot of great offseason moves and drafted well this offseason. And I think I got to go with it. I think I'm going to be bold and honest here. I think the Miami Dolphins had the best NFL offseason out of all 32 NFL teams this offseason. Now, they did a pretty good job this NFL offseason after moving away from Brian Flores, who I thought should have never been fired as the Miami Dolphins head coach, and all the controversy that had to go with it after Brian Flores was fired by the Miami Dolphins. We've seen the truth come out about a lot of things about this Miami Dolphins organization, what's been happening in the front office. But they did a pretty good job to block out the noise of what was going on with the Brian Flores situation and decided to have one heck of an NFL offseason. Now, they did not get the grand slam hit that they were expecting. These rumors were actually set out to be true, that Sean Payton who actually resigned of being the New Orleans Saints head coach, was going to jump ship and go be the next head coach for the Miami Dolphins. Now, Tom Brady, I guess they were in talks, and Tom Brady was expected to request a trade, and before he retired, request a trade to find his way to the Miami Dolphins, and we could have seen Sean Payton and Tom Brady be a great quarterback / head coaching duo in Miami in South Beach, but obviously that didn't happen. But they still had one hell of an NFL offseason. The additions that this Miami Dolphins team made, they acquired Tyreek Hill, Terron Armstead to help the offensive line, which their offensive line was not great last season. They got Cedric Wilson, my guy from Dallas, a true number 3 wide receiver that I think that's going to be for them next season, and Cedric Wilson. They got Chase Edmonds, the speedy back that was sharing time with James Conner in Arizona, finds himself with this Miami Dolphins team. They also added another running back in Sony Michel. We know what he's done in his career, mainly being remembered for his time with the New England Patriots, and had one heck of a season with the Los Angeles Rams last season. And Raheem Mostert, who is coming off an injury, a speedy running back that was under Kyle Shanahan's offense for the last couple years with the San Francisco 49ers. So I like all 3 of these running backs being on this team. And then you add it in with the former offensive coordinator with the San Francisco 49ers, and Mike McDaniel, that's going to be coming in for this Miami Dolphins team. So they created a great balance of having a good offense and a good defense. On paper, I think both of these units look good. On paper, offense, I just named the names that's going to be coming in to help on the offensive side of the ball, and the defensive side of the ball looks pretty good. I think both units have a potential to be top 10 this year. So, adding Mike McDaniel, who will run a similar offense to what Kyle Shanahan ran with his time in San Francisco, I think it's going to be absolutely fun to watch this Miami Dolphins team strive this year. I like Tua Tagovailoa. We're going to see what he could do, but this offense has Tua Tagovailoa. They have all 3 of those running backs I just named. They have Tyreek Hill. They have Jalen Waddle, who had one heck of a rookie season. I think he's going to thrive as a number 2 with this Miami Dolphins team. He did one heck of a job as a number 1, but now he gets to play alongside another speedy wide receiver in Tyreek Hill. I think that's going to be a good wide receiver duo out there in Miami. And obviously, you're going to have Cedric Wilson play I think at the moment, what it looks like, you're going to have Cedric Wilson play at the number 3 as the slot wide receiver, and then you have Mike Gesicki, one of the best young tight ends in the NFL. I like what this offense is going to look like, and Mike McDaniel, I think he's going to do one heck of a job mixing in the run, mixing in the pass, trying to help Tua Tagovailoa best as he can for this season. And then the defense has always been good with this Miami Dolphins team. I think over the last few seasons where we've seen the ups and downs of the Miami Dolphins, we've seen this team go up, we've seen this team go down, we've seen this team go on winning streaks. But I think the reason for that has been this Miami Dolphins defense. And now the defense doesn't have to get all the spotlight because Brian Flores is no longer there, who was a defensive-minded head coach. Now you bring in an offensive-minded head coach in Mike McDaniel, who's going to have one heck of a defense on his side, and we're going to see if he's going to be calling the plays, but he has one heck of an offense loaded up his sleeve for his first year in Miami. So truly, I think this team rides on Tua Tagovailoa this year, what they can do. I don't think they're going to win this AFC East division that is going to be locked down by the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen and company. So I like their chances of coming in second in the division, which you come in second in the division, that leaves you very open to get to a wild card, have a wild card spot. And if the Dolphins make the wild card this year, this will be the first time that the Miami Dolphins make the playoffs since 2016. So I think the additions that they have done this NFL offseason puts them in a great spot to make the playoffs this year. I don't think they're going to win a playoff game, but at least you get back to the playoffs and show that you are trying to become a winning franchise, something that you haven't done in quite some time if you're the Miami Dolphins. But this team is really going to ride on the shoulders of Tua Tagovailoa. It's either do or die for Tua this year. It's a prove-it year for Tua. And I will give Tua Tagovailoa his props. I think he's one of the strongest-minded quarterbacks in this league. This man has been in conversations about being traded for the last season or so, and he hasn't complained about it one bit. Remember, the Dolphins were going to be as bold as could be last season. They were going to trade for Deshaun Watson in the middle of the season when Deshaun Watson had all these sexual allegations really against him, and the league didn't know what to do with him, so the Texans had him out for a year, and the Dolphins were going to pull the trigger and trade for Deshaun Watson. Now, they didn't do it, and Tua Tagovailoa put his head down and kept grinding and nearly got the Dolphins to a playoff game, to the playoffs, to at least play in a playoff game last season. But I think it's do or die for him. I think it's a prove a year for him. We're gonna see we're gonna see if the Dolphins truly believe this is their franchise guy, because I have said on this podcast already that if Tua Tagovailoa does not prove to be the guy, I think they're going to quickly move on from him next NFL offseason, next spring, whether they trade him, whether they go in the draft and draft a quarterback from next year's draft class and make him the franchise quarterback. I think they're going to quickly move on from Tua Tagovailoa. So this is do or die from him. This is a really proven year for him. This man is, and I believe in Tua. We've seen what he could do with Alabama in college. He is a former national champion, former standout with Alabama, but he hasn't really translated his Alabama years to his pro years with the Miami Dolphins in the first two seasons. This guy is the 5th overall pick from the 2020 NFL Draft. You don't think he has a chip on his shoulder? You look at his draft mates, Joe Burrow, and the guy who got drafted right after him, 6th overall, to the Los Angeles Chargers, and Justin Herbert. You don't think the Miami Dolphins regret taking Justin Herbert or taking Tua Tagovailoa over Justin Herbert at this moment? They absolutely do. So Tua, if you're going to prove that you're the guy, you're the franchise guy in Miami, the QB1 of this team for the sake of the future, it's now or never. You have an offensive-minded head coach by your side. You have a running back committee, three-headed monster at the running back position that you can lean on for the run game. You have weapons that some NFL quarterbacks this year would die to have. And Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson, Mike Gesicki at the tight end position. Your offensive line has improved, so you're going to have more time to drop back and throw the ball. I'm not talking about these 5-yard slants. The world wants to see how accurate you're going to be this year. We're talking about the deep balls. We're talking about the 10, 15-yard routes that these wide receivers are going to run, that you're going to hit the ball to and hit them in stride, and they get do their thing yards after catch once they catch the ball. It's do or die time for Tua Tagovailoa, and this Miami Dolphins team rides on the shoulders if he's going to have a good year or a bad year. But I think with these additions, and Tua could do his thing and actually improve the haters wrong and the naysayers wrong, that this team will be a wild card team and they will finish second place in the AFC East next season.